What's up, everybody? And today we're going to be looking at something. I'm going to be kind of rolling back time here and looking at some military stuff. I found out recently, a couple of weeks ago, maybe a couple of months ago, actually, that the Royal Marines are getting a new rifle. Now, I left the Royal Marines in 2012. It's been a long time. Obviously, I use the SA-80. I also used another sharpshooter called the L129A1 sharpshooter, which I'll pull up a picture of that because this rifle is very similar. But I thought I'd just watch this little video. It's like 3 minutes and 51 seconds long. And for those of you who watch my content that still have a little bit of interest in military, the military aspect of what I did, I thought this would be a pretty cool kind of throwback to some of that. So this video is by Forces News. There'll be a link down below to the original video. Go and check that out. In the description, there will also be a link to my new project with my brother, DREADNOUGT MEADERY. Please check that out. Me and my brother have got this new project where we're making mead. We're going to be talking about mead. We're doing podcasts about it, everything, making it, tasting it, talking about it, the history of it, visiting places. It's very, very exciting. If you want a bit more behind the scenes and want to get to know me a bit better, head over to that YouTube channel in the description down below. But for now, let's shut up. Let's pull this up and let's have a cheeky peek, shall we? It's not something I usually do, but let's have a look.
Not only is it ambidextrous, it can also be fired from both shoulders. It also comes with a new optic system and what's being called a signature reduction system, which is essentially a suppressor or a silencer.
Oh, so it's automatically got that. Oh, whoa, look at that barrel. That's very interesting. Also, have you seen how it's got the regular scope and then it's also got what looks kind of like a red dotted sight on the top as well. Very interesting. I'm very interested in that silencer.
And the way it's designed internally allows the rifle to be used with the suppressor continually. So it's not something the average soldier would take on and off.
Oh,
It's a flow through design, so it pushes all the gases out of the muzzle end of the weapon, and
weird.
that again improves the ability to continue using the suppressor. It's rated to reduce the actual signature of the rifle by about 12 decibels, which doesn't sound like much, but it's a considerable reduction. And it's also said to reduce the first round pop or crack when a
I wonder if this is 7.62 or still 5.56. The sharpshooter that I was using was 7.62. There's a lot more that goes into one of these rifles than just does it shoot well, right? The SA-80, before we're even allowed to shoot it in the Royal Marines training, is in the 32 weeks of training, is you learn to strip this rifle down with your eyes closed. Like, strip it down, clean it. You know this rifle in and out, like everything about it. So the logistics in general of introducing a new rifle to, I don't know whether all of it says the Royal Marines and the British Army's new rifle. I'm wondering if every soldier's going to get one of these or if the SA-80 is still going to be implemented. But that's a lot of training. That's a lot of hours just for the maintenance of the weapon. And now the other thing as well is, does that muzzle, is it easy to clean? Is it something that's going to be a struggle? Does this weapon rust easier? The SA-80 rusted so easy. You could breathe on it and it'd start rusting. Obviously, I used the SA-80A2, which is like the second variant. And I'm pretty sure we were evolving into like an A3 variant by the time I was leaving. We were having a Picatinny rail on it. It didn't have that plastic handguard at the front. Instead, it had the metal one with a I can't even say it now. It also had a handle on the front as well. So there was other modifications that were being put onto it with the Picatinny rail and stuff. We also changed to an ACOG sight instead of the SUSAT. So there was a few moderations already happening. I'm just very interested. Obviously with the SA-80, you can only shoot it on your right shoulder because the brass ejects from the right hand side. So it's nice that this is a more ambidextrous, not only for people who prefer shooting on that side, but more importantly for CQB and kind of specialist requirements of when you need something like that. Let's have a look.
The rifle is fired for the first time. The benefits of having a suppressor, including signature reduction and safety for the firer, and also improving communication.
Yes,
These are all big force multipliers when you're a small unit.
let's pause it there. I just want to take a look. It does look very much like So this is the weapon I used that I got trained on. I can zoom into this a little bit. You can't really see it all that well, can you? If you look at that and that, they are very similar in a way, aren't? I mean, obviously they are different. But there is some quite similarities there. I think this might be 5.56 though, because the magazine looks much smaller than the big chunky 7.62 mags. They are thick boys, aren't they? And there is a few, now that I'm looking at them a bit more closely, there is a few. I wonder if I can get a better picture of this rifle a bit closer up. Let's have a look if this is a good picture. Obviously this is sprayed differently. Yeah, that's very much the one that I was using. Obviously it doesn't have the suppressor on it or anything like that. But they are very similar in a way, aren't they? Very interesting. I wonder if when they got this, they realised that maybe they could do something a bit better with the regular rifle that they have. Let's watch some more.
Even scaled up to larger considerations. The KS-1 that the alternative individual weapon is based on is a much lighter weapon than the SA-80 A3 and the A2. In that it's around about 7 pounds.
Oh, so it did say A3. So it did. I'm wondering whether when we changed it to the Picatinny rail, if that was classed as the A3, then I'm pretty sure it was. So it did go to the A3.
The SA-80 is considerably heavier at around 11 pounds.
Okay. Interesting.
The DI system is widely regarded as one of the best. It has the advantage of being a slightly simpler system, fewer moving parts.
Interesting.
It's being issued to commando strike teams and the SRS, as well as the new Ranger battalions. They're the kind of guys that are going to need a light weapon because they're either scaling a cliff, moving through Arctic tundra.
They're much longer though, aren't they? With that muzzle on it as well. It's a very long weapon, which also has hindrance, especially in close quarters. Everything else looks great on it. In my opinion, it's a little long though. I mean, look at the length of that. I mean, my head's in the way right now. Let me move my head. Look at the length of that. Heard that before. I haven't. It's a long weapon, isn't it? It's a very long weapon, and I'm intrigued to see how that translates to CQB.
Or they're training local forces, so they don't essentially need a heavy rifle.
Yeah. Two-stage trigger system allows for more precise marksmanship.
It definitely improves accuracy. A two-stage trigger.
It is 5.56. It says it on the weapon itself right there. 5.56
is generally more accurate, with the trigger pull being a little bit cleaner.
What about the optics? I love this. Dun, 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 dun.
The alternative individual weapon is going to be shipping with a vortex variable magnification optic, which allows the user to move from 1 power all the way up to about 6 power, I believe.
Look at those Royal Marines, looking absolutely fantastic as always. Smart as a guard, but twice as hard. I'm very intrigued at these muzzles. I'd love to know what the lads who have shot them, I'd love to know what their opinion on them are.
It's also going to be paired with a new Aimpoint Acro P2, I believe, which is a 1 power red dot optic, which is going to be used for close quarters. With the KS-1, the L403A1, we can see that it's got that capability of having an adjustable length of pull. So the buttstock can move about 2 inches to expand the actual length of pull. So that's great for people that are various different, sizes and builds.
Yeah.
It's great for...
It just looks like a very long rifle, doesn't it? It looks very long. I'm wondering how much that affects the sway. You know what I mean?
Making the weapon a little bit shorter when it's not needed. So over the
even still 2 inches, it's a big one, isn't it?
SA-80, which is it's a fixed length of pull. There is no adjustability with the SA-80.
Yeah.
So again, that modularity with the new weapon is a big improvement.
Interesting. Let me quickly I know they put another video out as well. There it is. This is it.
This is the Nightstoner.
All right, shut up. I just want to hear it fired. Look at the sway on. Look at how he's shooting there. I know it's in slow motion, but look at the sway of the barrel. That's substantial, that is. I wonder if I know any of these. It's been too long. I wouldn't know any of them.
It has to offer. The buttstock can adjust 2 inches, so shooters can properly fit the rifle to their body, which can improve mobility. It has a match-grade 2-stage trigger, which means after an initial amount of pressure is put on the trigger to prepare the weapon to fire or get it to its break point, only a further small increase of pressure is needed instead. Some of the benefits of...
I mean, it doesn't translate through camera, does it, with the audio? But it definitely sounds not as loud as the SA-80. Look at the gear that these guys... Look at these helmets with the friggin' ear defs attached to that. I swear, like, the kit that they have now compared to when I was in was shocking. I remember when we got the multicam. I remember the day we got it and we switched the uniforms out for the first time. Everyone was complaining about all the Velcro on it, and people didn't really like it.
Of a direct impingement system include a more accurate shot and a lighter weapon, as there are less.
It's ambidextrously, so you can fire left or right-handed, for left or right-handed firers, or for CQB.
Okay.
It's fitted with a...
That's why I said it is good to have that option, especially, certain situations when you're doing CQB. It's really nice. Also, is that a 2-stage scope on it, or is it like a
1 to 10 variable optic scope with the Vortex Eleanor, with a MRAD reticle as opposed to the bullet drop compensator.
Huh. You have to make it all Chad like that. Oh, look at this. It looks clean.
Our markings built into the IP.
Anyone remember the ACOG? Not the ACOG, the SUSAT that we had on it. God, it was awful. I mean, any improvement on the SA-80, the SA-80 needed to be changed drastically. And this, I'm sure, is a big improvement.
Target.
Fitted with a Acro P2 aim-point sight for close-quarter battle.
Yeah. You keep putting that music on, aren't there? I mean, there's not much else to be said about it, is there? This suppressor thing's very intriguing, though, and I'm wondering how you break this weapon down. I don't think they'd probably show that on here.
At the KS-1.
The weapon system itself is quite intuitive to use. The control systems, both sides of the weapon.
Catch your breath, mate.
Really easy to pick up, use for someone who's not used it before. Compared to anything else we've used before, ergonomically, it's a lot more stable. It's a lot more intuitive to use. The weapon system itself is better balanced. So for a user on the range, going forward into operations, it's going to be a lot better weapon system for us.
Yeah, I mean, is he saying that because he's on TV, or is he actually? Oh, that's why he's out of breath. He's been sprinting.
Housing, whereas previously weapon systems we used, everything was sort of in the butt of the weapon.
Yeah.
So for us to manipulate and throw the weapon around as we're running.
It's true. It was very back heavy, the SA-80. All the moving parts were in the back, and although I enjoyed using it, it needed to be revamped drastically.
It makes it a little bit easier, a little bit better for us to use.
Whether it's working on covert missions, deploying to hostile areas, or anything the Royal Marine Commandos are needed for around the globe.
Yeah. Cool.
The KS-1 is part of how they sustain and develop their role as the UK's elite fighting force. Brian?
Cool. I mean, it looks good. I'd love if anybody in any of my viewers who are actually shot it, there's any Royals on it or Army lads, I know there is, who watch these videos. I'd love to know what their thoughts are on it. Again, with weapons like the... Oh, I didn't even put this up. Look at them ear defs on that helmet. That's sick, that, isn't it? You know, it's one of them where you wouldn't really know unless you got your hands on it. It looks better. There's less moving parts, so you're not going to break things as easy, or at least you're not going to lose things as easy. You shouldn't be losing anything anyway. In fact, I don't even know of any lad that ever lost in training a part of their rifle. God, can you imagine? I don't remember anyway. Maybe someone lost a friggin' pin or anything like that. I can't remember, but it's been a long time. But yeah, less moving parts, easier to look after. It's a little long. Don't know if that affects the sway and accuracy. I'd love to know. And I'd love to know if anybody has moved from the S80 to this weapon and how that translates. Also, let me just pull this up again. The new Royal Marine epaulets, the badges that are straight instead of the curved, I don't like it. I prefer the green and black curved ones, personally. But I guess that's just me being old and being like, back in my day, it was better. I feel like everyone who's in the Marines, anyone who's ever been in the military, they always say the typical, oh, training was harder when I was in training. It's got easier now. It's soft now. Anyways, there'll be a link down below to the original video. Also, go check out Dreadnought Meadery if you haven't already. Message me. Let me know in the comments. Have you shot this? Do you know more about it? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to know. So yeah, other than that, I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Bye.